To the morally I just can't vote for Kamala crowd. You're trying to have this moment where you're like, see, we told you Kamala Harris was sus, and now we're right. They're all owned by AIPAC. So your choices were Jill Stein. Is she still alive? Does anybody know? Has anybody heard from her or seen her? Or is she doing what she always does, split votes from the Democrats and then disappear, and you guys are always like, oh, but it's not our fault. Yeah, it fucking is. Or you all who wrote into my comments because RFK Jr. is a genius. He's going to save this country. Tell me how he's handling measles right now. If that's how he's just handling one thing, how's it going? Do we think he would have made a great president? Well, they're all owned by AIPAC. I can't vote Democrat or Republican. They're all owned by AIPAC. Yeah, and so are RFK and Jill Stein. Just because you say it while leaving off the other half of it doesn't excuse you from the fact that you know that not voting for Kamala got us here, and you are part of the reason. If Jill Stein was standing up and being a daily critic of Trump, maybe I'd give you some. But because Jill Stein is doing exactly what Jill Stein does every time, you honestly think had she gotten in, Gaza wouldn't just become a strip mall anyway? The woman who takes money from Putin, you think she would have stood up to AIPAC? You guys can post as many videos as you want about your moral outrage. But you had a choice. Vote for Kamala, vote for Trump, or don't vote for Trump and assure that Trump wins. And you didn't vote, and you assured Trump's win, so you have as much to do with it as the people who voted for Trump. You had a choice, and you made it, and you supported Trump. Not voting is a choice, and you know what you did not vote it. You can also say it out loud. You didn't like a mouthy black woman. Because let's define what your moral outrage about Kamala is. She slept her way to the top. She slept with over 9 million registered voters to assure a win? Aw, Pumpkin, even you can see how stupid that argument is. She takes big tech money. So did your candidate. As a matter of fact, at least her money comes from big tech and not big Putin. Where do you expect them to get their money? Where is this magical candidate that manages to actually become president? No shade on Bernie Sanders, but let's be honest, at a certain level, to run those kind of ads and campaigns, you gotta have big money. Where besides big tech are you going to get this big money? Well, we could just Yeah. And wishes and hopes and I would be a pretty princess with a pony, but realistically, you see, I was right. Yeah, it's really easy to sit back and fucking do nothing but criticize everything and not take accountability for the fact that you're part of the reason Trump's in the White House. Maybe you guys could meet up with everybody who couldn't vote for a woman because they're not allowed to be president. And now you get to watch Gaza get leveled because morally you couldn't, but you did. You can keep posting your videos trying to explain how you were right. All those videos do is tell us how wrong you know you are. Because every hollow argument you make takes no personal accountability, just tries to shift blame to everybody else. Do you know how mean you guys were in my fucking comments because I wasn't supporting RFK Jr.? I have the screenshot. That I criticized Jill Stein, what kind of a white woman was I to stomp on another white woman? I am stomping on her because she's a Russian asset. It has nothing to do with her skin tone. Her getting in would be an even more express pass into Putin controlling our country. If it's a choice between Jill Stein and Trump, Trump would actually be the better choice. I can't believe I just said that. But it is true. I mean, at least Trump has a personality and occasionally free will. Jill would have just called Putin and kept it on speakerphone for the whole 4 years. We all want a better world. We all want things to be fair, we all want things to be right, but isn't it interesting that when it came down to a woman candidate, you chose the white one? Because Kamala, you couldn't. And yet you're so busy now creating all this content justifying how you were right about getting Trump elected? Because the numbers were in very early on. Everybody was warned that this election was going to become a three-way. That's what Jill Stein was put in for, was to split votes away from Kamala. And that's why Trump bribed RFK to join him, and you fell for it. Your not voting was allowing Trump in office. Your voting for Kamala was to block Trump from getting in office. It was math, and it was very clearly spelled out math, and you morally chose not to. So morally, you can choose to fuck up. for the next 4 years. Because you helped make everything that's currently happening happen. But you like to pretend that your hands are clean while standing in a pile of shit. Essentially, you're the neighbor that hears the woman upstairs being abused. But you don't call the cop, because good neighbors don't put their nose in where it doesn't belong. You help the abuse continue with your silence. And with your non-voting, you're helping Trump do everything he's doing right now. But sure, keep posting on TikTok if that's going to make you feel better about your decision. The rest of us sitting over here,